Hey everyone, John here. Today we're diving into the dark underbelly of British colonialism in Nigeria. From the late 19th to the mid-20th century, the British Empire imposed its will upon the diverse people of Nigeria. Over the next 10 chapters, we'll unpack 10 shocking atrocities committed under British rule. Brace yourselves. Our grim journey begins in 1901 with the Arrow Expedition, a brutal military campaign waged by the British against the Arrow Confederacy in southeastern Nigeria. This was not just a simple skirmish, but a well-planned and executed military operation. The Arrows held immense economic and religious influence, dominating the region with their strategic prowess. They controlled vital trade routes and a powerful oracle known as the Ibini Ukpabi, which was central to their spiritual and social life. The British saw the Arrow Confederacy as a significant threat to their ambitions of complete control over the region. They were determined to break this stronghold, so they launched a full-scale invasion, deploying superior firepower against the Arrows. Villages were razed, countless lives were lost, and the landscape of southeastern Nigeria was forever altered. The once powerful Arrow Confederacy was shattered, its influence diminished almost overnight. The Arrow expedition wasn't just about military conquest. It was a calculated effort to dismantle a sophisticated system of governance and belief that had stood for centuries. The British aimed to dismantle the Arrows' complex governance structures and religious practices, which they saw as obstacles to their colonial ambitions. The impact of the Arrow expedition reverberated through generations, causing profound disruptions in traditional power structures and social norms. Displaced communities and a legacy of trauma were left in its wake, forever altering the course of Arrow society and the broader region of southeastern Nigeria. Fast forward to 1929 and we find ourselves in the midst of the Aba Women's Riot, a pivotal moment in Nigerian history. This was not just a protest, it was a powerful uprising led by women who were determined to protect their rights and their communities. It began with a rumor that the British were planning to impose taxes on women, threatening their economic independence. The mere thought of such an imposition was enough to spark outrage and mobilize thousands. Thousands of women from across southeastern Nigeria rose up in protest. They came together, united by a common cause to fight against the oppressive colonial policies. They marched, sang, and danced, challenging British authority. Their songs and dances were not just expressions of defiance but also a way to communicate their demands and rally more support. The British responded with brutal force, using live ammunition. The colonial authorities were unprepared for such a massive and organized resistance and resorted to violence to suppress it. Women were shot, beaten, and imprisoned. The brutality of the response was shocking and highlighted the lengths to which the colonial regime would go to maintain control. The official death toll was 55, but Nigerian sources tell a different story. Many believe the actual number of casualties was much higher, reflecting the true scale of the tragedy. The Aba Women's Riot exposed the brutality of the colonial regime and ignited a fire for independence. It was a turning point that galvanized the Nigerian people and inspired future generations. These courageous women became symbols of resistance, their bravery and determination serving as a beacon of hope for others, their actions echoing through the decades. The legacy of their struggle continues to inspire movements for justice and equality in Nigeria and beyond. Their fight for justice continues to resonate, reminding us that the human spirit can never be truly broken. The courage and resilience of these women remain a powerful testament to the enduring quest for freedom, reminding us that the human spirit can never be truly broken. Their legacy lives on, a testament to the power of collective action and the unyielding desire for justice and equality. Our journey takes us to 1897 and the ancient kingdom of Benin, renowned for its rich culture, intricate art, and powerful rulers. This kingdom was a beacon of civilization in West Africa, known for its advanced political structure and vibrant traditions. The British, blinded by greed and driven by imperial ambitions, saw Benin as a prize to be conquered and exploited. They coveted its wealth and strategic location. An ill-fated trade expedition led by acting Consul General James Phillips was ambushed, prompting a full-scale invasion. This incident provided the British with the pretext they needed to launch a brutal military campaign. a heavily armed British force descended upon Benin City, unleashing a wave of violence and destruction. The city, once a thriving center of culture and commerce, was turned into a battlefield. Benin City was looted and burned to the ground, and thousands of innocent civilians were slaughtered in the chaos. The devastation was immense, leaving a scar that would last for generations. The Oba of Benin, Ovenramwen, was forced into exile, his kingdom left in ruins. The royal family was displaced, and the heart of the kingdom was shattered. The Benin massacre wasn't just a military campaign, it was a calculated act of cultural annihilation. The British systematically dismantled the cultural heritage of Benin, erasing its history. The British plundered Benin's treasures, scattering them across the globe and stripping the kingdom of its heritage. The Benin bronzes, masterpieces of African art, were taken and displayed in museums far from their homeland, a stark reminder of the kingdom's loss. The Anglo-Arrow War, a fight for survival against all odds. The echoes of the Arrow expedition led to the Anglo-Arrow War of 1901 to 1902. The Arrows fought back using guerrilla tactics, utilizing their knowledge of the terrain. The British, however, were relentless, using superior firepower and scorched earth tactics. Villages were razed, crops destroyed, and countless lives lost. The Arrows, facing overwhelming military might, were eventually forced to surrender. The Anglo-Arrow War serves as a testament to the human cost of colonialism. The Ekumeku movement, the Igbo resistance that shook colonial rule. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were marked by resistance against British colonialism. The Ekumeku movement, primarily made up of Igbo people, was a statement of defiance. From 1883 to 1914, the Ekumeku warriors engaged in a guerrilla war against British forces. They launched surprise attacks, disrupted trade routes, and challenged British control. The British found themselves facing an enemy that refused to be broken. Though ultimately defeated, the Ekumeku movement left an indelible mark on the history of Nigerian resistance. The Iva Valley Massacre. When the price of coal was paid in blood, the year is 1949. Hundreds of coal miners, subjected to appalling working conditions, decided they had had enough. They demanded better pay, improved safety measures, and recognition of their humanity. They went on strike, a peaceful act of protest. The British responded with unimaginable brutality. Armed police opened fire on the striking miners. The official death toll was 21 miners dead, 51 wounded. The Iva Valley Massacre exposed the brutal reality of colonial capitalism. From this tragedy rose a powerful labor movement, pivotal in the fight for Nigeria's independence. The Lagos bombing, a city unprepared, a tragedy in wartime. The year is 1943. The world is engulfed in World War II. Lagos, a bustling port city, was vital to the British war effort but ill-equipped to handle a sudden influx of explosives. On a seemingly ordinary day in June 1943, disaster struck. A fire broke out at the Lagos harbor, igniting a chain reaction. The explosions were deafening, sending shockwaves through the city. Hundreds of people were killed, thousands injured, and countless more left homeless. The British response was slow and inadequate. The Lagos bombing exposed the deep fissures within the colonial system, fueling resentment and a growing desire for self-determination. The story of Oba Ovenramwen, the once powerful ruler of the Benin Kingdom, is a tragic tale of colonial intrigue and betrayal. Oba Ovenramwen was stripped of his power and forced into exile by the British in 1897. The British stormed Benin City, looted its treasures and burned it to the ground. Ovenramwen was captured and exiled to Calabar, separated from his people and stripped of his regalia. The exile of Oba Ovenramwen was a strategic move by the British to crush the spirit of the Benin people. It marked the end of an era, the dismantling of a powerful kingdom. The spirit of resistance lived on, fueling the flames of nationalism that would eventually lead to Nigeria's independence. From 1877 to 1886, the Yoruba people of southwestern Nigeria were embroiled in the Kiriji War. The war was a complex web of political rivalries, economic interests, and external influences fueled by the British Empire. The British played a cynical game of divide and conquer, supplying arms to both sides. The Kiriji War left a devastating legacy, weakening the Yoruba kingdoms. Entire communities were ravaged, economies shattered, and countless lives lost. The war made the Yoruba kingdoms more susceptible to British encroachment and eventual colonization. The Khariji War stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of internal divisions and colonial manipulations. One of the most insidious legacies of British colonialism in Nigeria was the implementation of a draconian taxation system. The British imposed a wide range of taxes on everything imaginable, placing an unbearable burden on the Nigerian people. Farmers were forced to surrender a significant portion of their harvests. Traders saw their profits dwindle, and the average Nigerian citizen was left with barely enough to survive. The British implemented a system of indirect rule, empowering local chiefs to collect taxes on their behalf. This system led to widespread extortion and exploitation. The British taxation policies in Nigeria were nothing short of economic exploitation. It was a system designed to benefit the colonizers at the expense of the colonized. So there you have it, 10 shocking atrocities committed under British colonial rule in Nigeria. These events reveal the brutal reality of empire, the exploitation, the violence, the utter disregard for human life. It's about learning from the past, fighting for justice in the present, and building a future where such atrocities are never repeated. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's continue unraveling history's hidden stories together. Catch you in the next one.